Hey, shalom, my homies. Today we have a special broadcast of Living Roots. The world is changing rapidly, and my co host, Patrick McGuire, and I are going to be discussing some amazing events going on today. Good morning, Patrick.
Good morning. Shalom, y'all, from Austin. And oh, by the way, I wanted to share this. Already had a viewer send me this and said they got it in Israel. So it was probably from southern Israel, right?
Southern Israel, that's right.
uh, so I'm fixing to figure out how I'm going to put this someplace. Maybe hang it from my.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
this is
Or
official. Maybe once we figure out where we can get these, we'll make it available in our store so you can get one. Okay. But anyway,
yeah.
shalom, y'all. From Austin, we have a special. Well, they're all special, actually. These are all special podcasts, right? Um, but we wanted to talk to you about what's happening this week. Now, this week in Yeshua's life, of his public ministry. Uh, we're not talking about that, but we are going to talk about what is happening in our country. 250
Mm.
years, and President Trump had something to say about Shabbat. So, Jim, what was that all about?
Yeah. I was astounded to find that President Trump announced a national Jubilee day of prayer, praise, and thanksgiving starting this Friday night, but he did it over a Sabbath to recognize the Jewish understanding of Sabbath, which is biblical, from Friday night through till Saturday night. And so I was like, wait a minute. I thought Trump couldn't surprise me anymore. And he does again. Love him or hate him, Trump always has something going on that makes me wonder. Can I read his declaration that he made? I have a
Please do
written
that
text
because
of it.
I think a lot of people aren't aware of it, but I know a lot of the folks that are in our audience are kind of excited about it. So go ahead.
Yeah, I'm actually really excited because I believe in the Sabbath. I believe we should observe the Sabbath. It was never
Mhm.
changed. So it was he made his White House proclamation dated May 4th, just a few days ago, in special honor of 250 glorious years of American independence, and on the weekend of Rededicate 250, a national jubilee of prayer, praise, and thanksgiving. And then he says Jewish Americans are encouraged to observe a national Sabbath from sundown, the 15th of May, to nightfall on May 16th. Friends, families, and communities of all backgrounds may come together in gratitude for our nation. This day will recognize the sacred Jewish tradition of setting aside time for rest, reflection, and gratitude to the Almighty. It also calls for an all Americans to celebrate their faith and freedom, especially on Shabbat, to celebrate our 250th year of our country. And then, of course, I looked it up, and in Israel, there's a special Sabbath this weekend. They call it Yom Yerushalayim. Yom is the day of Jerusalem, the Jerusalem day. It begins at sundown and ends at sunset this Friday to Saturday. And it marks the 59th anniversary of the 1967 Six-Day War reunification of the city of Jerusalem, featuring celebrations, parades, ceremonies, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And they celebrate the reunification when Israel retook Jerusalem as the capital. And the sacred city came back under Israeli control for the first time in 2,000 years. Do you think there's any kind of coincidence, Patrick, that Trump would do this on
You
the same
know,
day?
I sometimes you think that, well, he kind of just stumbles into this stuff, and other times you kind of think that maybe there was a plan. And so I love the idea. I think that there is a significant contribution by Torah and the scriptures and even the Jewish influence in our founding and
Hmm.
definitely in our constitution and setup of our government as we look back at what God had set up in Torah
Right.
for governance and that type of thing. But it also brings up because I what came up on my feed was, Shabbat 250, and I'm like, "Whoa, what's this?" And, and Trump's picture and everything, and there is so much out there of, what is Shabbat, what it's all about, and so I thought maybe we could talk about that a little bit.
Right.
Now you having, been a, uh, Calvary Chapel pastor, right? And a
Hmm.
vineyard pastor and
Yeah.
just kind of independent pastor. And now you're pastoring a, uh, what, what do you call it now?
Messianic
Me- uh,
Messianic congregation. Yeah, I call it a Messianic Christian congregation
and
here in Colorado Springs. Yep.
which shows kind of a, a growth or regression where, depends on whose opinion it is of what what a journey. And so one of the things, I was actually working for a company called Compedia
Mm,
in Israel, and they were in Ramat Gan, which is the immediate northern suburb of Tel Aviv. And I was, of
mm,
course, the token Christian there. And we were working on a thing called Bible Islands, which was a whole idea of a virtual world for children to experience the Bible. And
mm.
it was a great idea, and it was something that the company had done for the Jewish Federation. And they Compedia actually is a company that has been doing educational DVDs and flash drives and whatnot for the
Mhm,
education system in Israel, as well as for homeschoolers all around
mm.
the world. And they actually do a lot of the technology for the Bible Museum there in DC, which I thought
Wow.
was really interesting. But anyways, I
Yeah.
became friends with them, and they had submitted the idea to the Christian embassy in Jerusalem.
Mhm, mhm.
And um, it was interesting because the guys at the Christian Embassy said, "This is great. It's all Old Testament